Tribes in Oklahoma and across the nation could benefit from an executive order making it easier for them to access federal funding.
The action was announced by President Biden at this week's Tribal Nations Summit in Washington. Our Washington Bureau Chief Alex Cameron has the details.
Well, this annual meeting of tribal leaders with their federal counterparts was a staple of the Obama administration, but ceased under President Trump. President Biden brought it back, which to the nation's 574 federally recognized tribes means something.
It certainly sends the message that Indian tribes are important to this president.
President Biden tried to underscore that message by signing an executive order Wednesday.
There you go.
Reforming the federal funding system for tribes.
Cutting that red tape so you can deliver for your community faster and better.
Cherokee Nation Principal Chief Chuck Hoskin says one of the most important things for tribes is the speed with which they can get federal dollars into their programs.
It's the speed that sometimes is elusive in Washington, D.C., as people know. And so the idea behind the executive order was to streamline that process.
Kim Teehee, who helped organize the first Tribal Nations Summit, noted the federal government doesn't provide funding to tribes out of charity, but under legal obligation.
It's called a federal trust responsibility. So we have to remember the reason those federal dollars flow to tribes in the first place is a part of that legal relationship and that responsibility that the U.S. owes to the tribes.
In another positive development for tribes, and specifically the Cherokee Nation, the Senate Judiciary Committee Thursday advanced the nomination of the tribe's former Attorney General Sarah Hill to Oklahoma's Northern District bench. Hoskin says there's a reason both Senators Langford and Mullen support Hill. She's highly qualified.
I mean, I think of how we navigated the really challenging landscape of McGirt and COVID. That took a sharp legal mind, and I had one in Sarah Hill, thank goodness.
One development here the Cherokee Nation is not particularly thrilled about. The momentum that had been building toward the end of last year to formally recognize and seat their delegate to Congress, Kim Teehee, is gone, at least for now. In our Washington Bureau, I'm Oklahoma's own Alex Cameron.